Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on. I better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that are being done right and are done wrong. Here we go.
Hello, my name is Brian Bauer, a sergeant with the City of Phoenix Police Department's Public Affairs Bureau. The information, audio, video, and pictures you are about to see are intended to provide details as we currently understand them of an officer-involved shooting that occurred on July 19, 2022. This video may contain strong language as well as graphic images which could be disturbing to some people. Viewer discretion is advised. This incident occurred in the area of 111th Avenue and Camelback Road when a 911 call was made about a resident, later identified as 22-year-old Matthew Begay, threatening to jump out of the second-story window of a local group home. Here is a portion of the initial 911 call made by the group home manager at 10:02 a.m.
Phoenix 911, where's the emergency?
Yes, my name is calling from. I'm calling. I'm calling you because I have this is a group home. I have a member who wanna kill himself.
What's the address, ma'am? What do you mean he wants to kill himself? Does he have a plan? Is he trying to make an attempt?
Yeah, he's just standing on the window, wanna jump up through the window.
During the 911 call, the dispatcher placed a simultaneous call to an outside contracted mental health company requesting a mobile crisis team to respond.
The group home, the subject's trying to jump through the window on the southeast corner. They're trying to get him away from the window, and they're trying to get a mobile team started also.
Well, yeah, let me get my dispatch working on this.
Perfect.
About 5 minutes later, 911 received confirmation that the mobile crisis team was 25 minutes away.
Got a 25-minute ETA.
Shit.
I'm sorry, Chris, what was that?
25-minute ETA.
Okay, perfect.
On the way to the call,
Perfect.
a supervisor asked for a member of the Phoenix Police Crisis Intervention Team to respond. He was later told a crisis team member was unavailable.
Anyway, can you see if a CIT unit to respond?
10-4.
The Phoenix Police Department's Crisis Intervention Team, commonly known as CIT, encompasses both full-time detectives trained in mental health situations and patrol officers with 40 hours of crisis response training. The role of these specialized officers is to assist during crisis situations if available. Body-worn cameras are used by all officers assigned to patrol and several specialty units. Per policy, they are worn at mid-torso level and capture the view of the line of sight from that perspective. It's important to note that the camera lens is fixed and does not capture everything seen or experienced by the officer. When activated, both audio and video turn on. The body-worn camera has a buffer of video without audio for 30 seconds prior to activation. This feature is designed to capture incidents that happen suddenly where an officer doesn't immediately activate the camera. The Phoenix Police Department does not currently use in-car camera systems. At about 10:12 a.m., the first two officers arrived at the group home and spoke with the caller, who directed them to Matthew inside the home. The two officers entered the group home and began to walk up the stairs.
What's his name? What is it?
Matthew.
What's he wearing? What is he wearing?
Black shirt. He
All right, so I'll pause it right here and talk about some stuff. Suicide calls. So I am not a believer of police responding to suicide calls. Suicide is not a crime, so I don't think the police should be going to a call where a person is threatening suicide. There is no place in this country, or even the world, I know for sure not in the U.S. Now, there could be some weird-ass place somewhere, rest of the world that I don't know about that would have this. But as far as the United States go, there is no law that says that if a person attempts to commit suicide, but they fail at it and they still live, that they are to be charged with a crime and taken before court. and then found guilty of something, or they try to convict someone to be guilty of it. Like, that just doesn't fucking exist. And even if it did, that'd be totally fucked up. So why are the police responding to suicide calls? Because police over the years have been seen as the Band-Aid to fix people's problems. The job of police, there's multiple different things that police do, but ultimately, police are just general problem solvers. They go out and solve people's problems. Even if it's not a big serious problem, like people having a squabble, like a loud music complaint. Police job is to be competent adults, to go out and manage other incompetent adults' problems. That's all it is. It's just professional adulting. Like a noise complaint. Someone calls in and says the neighbor is playing loud music. The majority of the time, those people never go ask those other people to turn the music down. Because they don't want to do it. They don't feel like adulting. So they call people to come do adulting for them. So when someone calls in and says that, such and such is suicidal, they call 911. Who is out and about at all times of the night? The police. The firefighters sleep at night. They sleep at the fire station. Some places, the ambulance crew sleeps at night as well. If they're not asleep, then they're sitting in the ambulance station watching TV or doing something. The only people who are out moving around are the police, so they can get there quickly. And so that's just what it's evolved to, right? Oh, well, patrol guys out there, we'll send them. They'll go solve the problem. They'll do it real quick, too. Time is of essence. Well, it's evolved into police are always going to suicide calls. And I don't think that that's necessary. I don't think that that's needed, because a lot of times it just ends up turning into suicide by police. Someone will have this idea in their head that the way to solve their problem is to self-terminate. And that sucks that they have got to that point. And it's not a simple, within the last hour, they just thought about this. This is something that they have most likely been thinking about for some time. Either multiple days, weeks, months. Some people, they think about it for years. And to be in that headspace, that depressing fucking headspace, to think that the best way, the best outcome is to cease to live anymore. Like, that sucks. That mental torture that they've had to endure for whatever period of time they've been enduring it. That sucks, to go that long having that much mental anguish. But that's where my sympathy for them kind of ends. Or for the suicide by police people. That's where my sympathy ends, is when they try to do something to cause someone else to try and kill them. Like, that's fucked up. Like, yeah, you're not able to do it yourself, so you're going to force someone else to do that? Fuck that. That's fucked up. Those people don't want to do that. When do I think police should be involved in a suicide call? When that person is actually committing a crime, or they're doing something that could harm other people, or they're threatening to harm other people. Other than that, I don't think police should be responding to those suicide calls. Now, let's say that tomorrow, boom, that happens. Police stop responding to suicide calls unless someone's threatening to hurt other people, or they're actually attempting to hurt other people, or they're committing some other kind of crime. For a lot of people, they'll figure that out, and they'll just do something to cause the police to come out. But there's still going to be some who, they won't go that extra step just to get the police to come there. And the situation can be resolved by someone else other than the police. Firefighters, EMTs, trained in this kind of CIT stuff, could go there, talk them down, etc. or a dedicated, contract agency could be the one to do that. A group home. So there are multiple different types of group homes out there. You have group homes for people who've been released out of prison or released out of jail, and this is a condition of their probation. They have to go live in a group home for X amount of time. And these group homes are most of them are privately ran. There are some government ran group homes, but the bulk of them are privately ran. And so but some of these places are known as halfway homes, stuff like that. So people get out of prison. Part of their condition is you got to go live in a halfway house or a group home for X amount of time. Got to go find a job, yada, yada, yada. Then there are some medical kind of group homes. And again, these are mostly just privately ran places. Someone gets the bright idea of, hey, I'm going to open up a group home, and I've got 5 rooms in this house. I can bunk 2 to 3 people to a room. I can charge each person X amount of money. And if I have all beds full, then I can make this much a month. And that's literally why some of these places exist. Some people just want to make the money off the people who are living in these places. You have a lot of convicted felons out there who run group homes, who run halfway houses. Why? Because it's a great fucking money-making machine. That's why. Those people who are court ordered to be there from the criminal aspect, do they want to go back to prison? Fuck no, they don't want to go back to prison. Are they going to be motivated to keep a job and keep that bed full? Yeah, most of them will. Some of them don't do a very good job at it. Some of them end up doing other shit, getting caught for it, and they go back anyway. But they'll do that hustle to stay out of the prison so they can do the stuff they want. And the people who run these halfway houses that are like that, sometimes they don't really give a shit about the fucking enforcement of the rules that go on there. They let them do stuff in there. They'll let them do drugs. They'll piss for them. Or they'll get clean piss for them for the drug tests. Whatever. Or they'll just not even do the drug test and they'll just fucking write on the form, yeah, he passed it. The medical places, it's insurance. Do these group homes accept people who don't have some form of insurance? Fuck no. Either these people have private insurance or they get something like Medicare or Medicaid or whatever to cover it. And if there's no coverage, they won't take them. I mean, they just won't. These are money generating things. So when people complain about revenue generators, they always want to, attack the police and be like, fucking road pirates, blah, 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 blah. All you do is generate revenue, blah, 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 blah. They never seem to focus their hatred on entities like code enforcement. Code enforcement, fuck them. They are a revenue generator. And they never seem to focus on places like this. The only reason they exist is to make money. They make a claim that they're helping people, yada, yada, yada. But how many people are they actually truly helping? How much of a difference are they making? I don't think they're doing that much. So I'm not a big fan of group homes and stuff like that. I just think with the low salary that they pay, they don't hire the most qualified people. The people just kind of let people do whatever the fuck they want, etc. It's just, I see it as something, and then the oversight to it. Like I said, there's not much to opening a place. There are convicted felons out there who are fresh out of fucking prison who open these places. Why? Why do you want someone like that running a halfway house? Or a group home? Now this one, according to the news, it is a mental kind of facility. It's an inpatient mental health facility at a home. And that's what a lot of these places are. They're just a house, a big house, and they bunk people to a room. There's no entry control. They don't lock them in. There's no way to actually keep them locked in or anything like that. Them being there is for the most part completely voluntary. Even if they are court ordered to be somewhere, there's no actually physically detaining them like a jail. There's no steel doors with magnetic locks or anything like that to keep them in. Most of these places, they encourage the people to go out and keep real jobs, especially from the criminal side of the halfway houses. So there's no need to keep the place locked in. There's really no large repercussions towards a place that doesn't take any extra effort to keep a person locked up or locked in. There was an incident. Shit, I cannot remember the exact details of it. But it was not too long. It was probably sometime this year or end of last year. There was a guy who he committed some crimes. I want to say this kind of serious, like he assaulted someone or damn near halfway tried to kill someone. And his defense attorney was able to successfully argue in court that he was mentally incompetent, that he was basically retarded, and it worked. And he got off, didn't have to be, convicted of that crime or whatever, found innocent. But he became a ward of the state, and he was remanded to a group home, basically, like this. And it was a private place in a town south of us. It was in Franklin, Kentucky. And it was a house that someone operated a halfway home business out of, or a group home business out of. And they were supposed to keep them there. But there's no way to keep that person locked inside. The people working there are not trained to go after someone and apprehend someone who's trying to leave the premises. All they're required to do is report it. Oh, hey, this person has walked away. They haven't come back. That's not keeping the public safe. That's kind of bullshit. Like, if this person is such a threat to society that he's out trying to fucking kill people, and he's legally deemed to be retarded, should he be able to just walk out into the general public that easy? No. He should be in a facility somewhere that has doors that lock, and it's fenced in. You can still go outside, but you're going to be within a fenced in area. So places like this only serve to collect money, and they don't really protect people at all. Alright, enough of my ranting and hating on group homes and stuff like that.
Who directed them to Matthew inside the home. The two officers entered the group home and began to walk up the stairs.
What's his name?
Matthew.
What is it?
Matthew.
What's he wearing? What is he wearing?
The black shirt. He just says that.
What is he wearing?
Black shirt, t-shirt, and jeans.
Okay.
They found Matthew standing on the landing of the second floor. Matthew was looking down at the officers positioned, blocking the top floor of the home.
Come down here. Nope. Alright, dude, just come down here so we can talk. Nope. You're not going to jail. Why would you be going to jail? Nope.
Huh?
Not going.
Alright, you just talk to us real quick. You're not gonna go to jail, man.
I hear me just fine.
Huh? You can hear me just fine?
As officers were talking with Matthew, they attempted to walk up the stairs. Concerned for their safety, officers stayed on the middle landing of the stairs. They continued talking with Matthew and offering him help. Matthew told officers he wasn't coming down and that he would not let them up.
Huh? You ain't coming up. I'm not coming up. I ain't going down.
Dude. Alright, what's the issue today? How can we help you today?
I'm worried about it.
Huh?
I'm worried about it.
Don't worry about it.
Well, I have to because now I'm over here and they call
The two officers continued negotiating with Matthew for about 15 minutes. During negotiations, officers again requested someone from the crisis intervention team. No one was available.
Either one of those units are 23 a CIT.
11 Ocean.
We are not.
I want to check citywide also.
Over the next few minutes, additional officers arrived on scene and stayed at the bottom of the stairs.
Well, I need you to move over so I can come up. I'm not coming up.
If you move that way, we can go up. Yeah. You're trying to fight? Is that what you're trying to do? I'm trying to die. You're trying to die?
At about 10:31 a.m., Matthew is heard saying he was trying to die. Shortly after, he is seen removing a knife from his right pants pocket. He begins to take a step down the stairs towards officers.
Drop it. He has a knife. Drop it.
Officers ordered Matthew to drop the knife.
Drop it. Dude, if you don't drop right now, I'm going to shoot you.
Yes.
All right.
You need a taser.
If you take one step, dude.
Taser.
Dude.
One officer used a taser in an attempt to get Matthew to comply. The impact of the taser did not have any effect on Matthew, and he continued to walk towards officers. One officer then fired his duty weapon, striking Matthew and causing him to fall on the middle landing of the stairs.
Where's the knife? Get the knife away.
I toss it down.
Okay.
Here is the same event from a different officer's body worn camera.
Taser.
Dude.
Put it out. Get the knife away.
I toss it down.
Okay.
To better provide medical aid to Matthew, officers carried him to the front patio area of the house and away from the three occupants who were still upstairs. Once outside, officers continued providing medical aid until Phoenix Fire Department took over and transported Matthew to a hospital, where he later died from his injuries. The officer involved in this shooting has been with the department for 2 years and is assigned to the Maryvale Estrella Mountain Precinct. This incident is subject of both an internal and criminal investigation. The stairs.
All right, so you can see the green laser and the red laser beam. So he has a Taser 7. It's Axon's
Matthew
newest
and causing him
or
to
latest
fall
taser,
on
I
the
guess you
middle
could say.
landing of the stairs.
So the top beam indicates where that top probe is going to hit, and the red indicates where the bottom probe is going to hit. This is okay spread. There should have been some NMI or increased likelihood of NMI at this point, but obviously it doesn't work. Generally, it is not advised to deploy a taser on a person who is at a height, like someone at the top of the stairs, someone who is standing, like, for example, on top of a car, on a ladder or a pole or something like that, because when NMI is achieved, they have no control over balancing themselves, and they can fall and injure themselves. Now, in this kind of scenario where the dude is armed with a deadly physical weapon, I think that obviously that recommendation goes out the window, because at this point, deadly force is justified. So if you can use deadly physical force against the person, and that deadly physical force could result in them dying, in your attempt to stop them from being a threat, then I see no problem with utilizing a taser on a person who is at a height, and the risk of serious physical injury and or death could occur if they fall down the stairs, because you're already justified in shooting them with a deadly gun, right? But in general, it is advised. It's not advised to shoot someone at a height with a taser. In this scenario, I think it's perfectly acceptable. This taser has 2 cartridges in it. That way you can get 2 shots. So he fires that first shot. Not effective. If it was effective, you would see him lock up and fall. But that does not happen. I went back too
him
far.
to fall on the middle landing of the stairs.
So I don't know where the top dart went. You can see the bottom dart in him.
The stairs.
But I don't see that top dart at all anymore. So I think that it's possible that top dart or that laser beam is off, and that's not exactly where that top dart was landing at, or else you would see the silver of it sticking out like you do in the bottom here. So pay attention to the bottom where the red dot is. You see that little silver thing? That's the big ass probe for the taser. Now you can see the 2 wires coming out of the gun, so we know one probe fired. I'm sorry, one cartridge fired successfully, and both probes have come out because you see 2 wires. But I don't see that top probe in him anywhere. He hits him again. I kind of think that the second taser deployment, that second cartridge firing, did achieve NMI at the same time this officer was shooting. So they both fire at the same time, basically. And I think that as this guy is falling through the air, NMI has been achieved on him. So if the officer with the gun had waited, I think it's possible that we would have seen this guy just fall down the stairs under NMI. But I don't know that for sure. It's just a suspicion that I have. So I'm not saying the officer with the gun was wrong. No, he's completely justified. This dude was extremely close. All you had to do was hop down the stairs and get to him very quickly and then start slashing and stabbing at him. But if he had just held off and allowed for him to fire that second cartridge, I think there's a possibility that we would have seen this guy just stiffen up and then fall down the stairs. Because he appears pretty stiff right now. Even when we go to the
I toss it down.
second video.
Dude.
Put it out.
So, let me back that up.
Taser.
Dude.
So pay attention to his arm area. You see the wire, the top wire, is going around. So I really do think that top probe completely probably went over his shoulder some. And it could have penetrated the wall and be stuck in the wall. But you just kind of see it right there. So it's like he walking into a spider web almost. And even when he's at the bottom here, you still just see that one probe right there. And up there at the top, where that green dot was initially pointing at, you don't see anything up there.
Put it out. Get the knife away.
I toss it down.
To better provide medical aid.
Put it out. Where's the knife? Get the knife away.
I toss it down.
To better provide medical aid to Matthew, officers carried him to the front patio area.
I don't think that they did anything wrong by moving him from the stairs to the outside. That would make things more easier to provide care for him. It's going to be very hard to provide good quality care when you're on a second landing of a stairwell. Like, there's just not a whole lot of room for people to be there to do the work and everything. So moving him off the stairs was the right thing to do. And even moving him off the stairs, they would have been in a small confined hallway. So even dragging him to the outside, I still think that's the better thing to do. You've got ample amount of space out here in the front porch area for people to be around and do work and everything. Sometimes it can be kind of hard to provide good care to someone in an enclosed space because there's just limited room, etc. Now, of course, all we do is see them provide CPR. I don't know what kind of other pre-hospital care they gave to him. Sometimes I go into a spiel talking about medical gear. I'm not going to go that far into it, but I am a firm believer that if you carry a gun for a living, then you should also carry medical gear as well. If you have the tools to induce trauma, you should have the tools to reduce trauma. And that primarily is for you to begin with. You have to consider the fact that you yourself could be injured in a fight. You could be shot, you could be stabbed, etc. So that gear that you carry on you, it is intended for you, number one. And then secondly, it is for teammates and or family. And then thirdly, it can be used on other people so long as you have adequate backup there who could have more medical gear to be able to use on you if the situation rapidly deteriorates and there's more threats that come out. It would be kind of stupid to take your one and only tourniquet and put it on a bad guy, and then you and one other person, the only person there, or it's just you there, and then someone comes around the corner, sees that you shot their friend, and they get pissed off and they shoot you. And now you need a tourniquet. Like, are you going to take that tourniquet off that person that you just put it on and put it on yourself? Not likely. That's probably not going to happen. So, like I said, medical gear primarily should be intended firstly for you, then your partners and their family, and then thirdly anyone else, so long as there's adequate backup there in case something happens. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.